Good morning, everyone. Today's Thursday, June 9th, 2022, and we're here for a regularly scheduled work session. As always, we'll start with the pledge. And Bob, can you take the lead for us on that?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bob. No announcements today, so we're going to get right into our first discussion item, which from Building and Planning, matters surrounding the update on Dries Specchio special permit and site plan application. And for that, we have Greg Bergman here to provide the update. Greg?
Thank you. Good morning. I did speak with Marty Sandlewski, the architect for the project, yesterday. He is unavailable, but I did get his blessing to go ahead and kind of continue with the presentation. So this is a special permit seeking approval to construct an approximately 31,000 square foot manufacturer's outlet center on a vacant piece of property which is located between Tanger 1 and Tanger 2. When this project was last before the board on March 3rd of 2022, we presented a site plan. That site plan, there has been since been some minor modifications, namely to the traffic circulation through the site. In the earlier versions of the plans, it was identified that there could be a potential for a backup as you're heading south on Tanger Drive, trying to make a left into the site. On that March 3rd work session, we presented a plan that had a left turning lane going into that site. In negotiations that the applicants had with the owners of the Tanger property, the owners of the Tanger property wanted that left turning lane removed and no modifications to that Tanger Drive intersection. And those, the guidance for that intersection and all the access easements were established when Tanger 2 was built out. There was a pretty complicated series of arrangements between the two property owners that allowed Tanger to traverse this owner's property in order to construct Tanger 2. The applicant did submit a report from a traffic engineer which analyzed the potential traffic generated from 31,000 square feet of retail. Based on the ITE, which is the International Traffic Engineers Guide, I believe the site was expected to create 73 trips during its peak hour, which is below the significant threshold to be looked at for SECRA. So really, applicants looking to move this project forward. The intersection, when you come, if you're coming south on Tanger Drive, making a left into the site, it's approximately 550 feet away from that east to west driveway that connects the two Tangers. So in order for that southbound lane to back up and impact that east-west Tanger driveway, there would have to be a really significant backup that I would only really foresee being an issue around like Black Friday holiday season. But as we know, Tanger,
Every one of them's backed up then.
Tanger pays the town for Riverhead Police Department services, and they do, control those intersections. So during any other times of the year, it wouldn't really be expected to be a significant impact.
Greg, when you say east to west, you're referring along the north side there?
So yes, if you
Right.
look at the driveway, the way the plans are laid out, the left side of the page is actually facing north. So yes, that driveway, right on the page, it's going up and down, but that is the east-west driveway.
And then what's the plan for sort of east to west ingress and egress into that Tanger 1 section to the south there?
So the access plan, Tanger 1, so the west property, I mean, if you're coming north from 25, you'd make a left into Tanger 1. You would continue straight, you would get to that east-west driveway, and then you'd go to Tanger 2. If you're coming south from 58, you would make a right into Tanger 1. The ingress and egress points from the Dries Specchio property, they are proposing two curb cuts along Tanger Drive. One would be an ingress, what's considered the southern curb cut would be an ingress and egress. That egress would only allow right turns out of that site onto Tanger Drive heading north. So you would not be able to make a left out of Dries Specchio to head south onto Tanger Drive. And the same thing would be for the northern curb cut.
Are they building this spec to get hopefully some tenants? I mean, I just don't understand that.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they have tenants. I mean, that's something that,
How are you making money?
an opinion of mine, but when we look at a site plan, you don't really
There's
dictate
nothing written in
tenants or,
stone,
like
yeah.
market demand. Based on the Business F zoning district, I mean, manufacturer's outlet center is really the only permissible use within that zoning
Down
district.
here, you're not gonna be able to.
Just curious if there was anything,
Here.
that was firm in the works.
I mean, I can reach out
And
to
he said
to
this
Marty
is
and find out, but
550
right now, I'm
feet
not sure they have
from
tenants.
here. So.
Good place for a Trader Joe's.
Just, Greg, for clarification, this isn't Tanger.
No.
Doing this. This is
No.
another entity
Th- th-
doing outlet-type stores.
That's correct.
Now, just clarify, because last time we talked about it, we were going to absolutely confirm, but are they falling under the same requirements as Tanger where, forgive me if the numbers aren't correct, but like 70% has to be like wholesale items or something, or discounted items?
That, I mean,
You know,
that is,
outlet
that is a
prices.
requirement under the, the definition of manufacturer's outlet center.
Okay, this falls under that same, so they have the same restrictions that Tanger gets.
It would have to, by virtue of the zoning,
So this has to be an outlet store.
yes.
And the same food retail guidelines as
It
the
would be
surrounding.
considered accessory if they had a food court.
Right.
I mean, again, when you get down to the marketability of having another food court within, basically in between the two Tangers.
Yeah.
And even to the point of the percentage of products sold, I mean, there's been like an as seen on TV store that's gone into Tanger, so. I mean, that's something that the board may wish to consider, just as the market for, brick and mortar retail does change. There are vacancies within Tanger that have been kind of tough to fill, so that might be something that the board would consider during the comp plan update.
And again, just to clarify, Greg, if I'm in Tanger 1 and I'm coming out and I want to make the right, I can make the right, but I'm not going to be able to make the left now coming out? Is that the idea?
So
Right in
coming
front of the entrance?
from Tanger, on this intersection, you would make a right, and there's no restriction on the Tanger to making a left to go north to 58. I mean, me personally, if I was going to try to get out to 58, I mean, that intersection's kind of a little confusing as it is. I'd probably go up to the east-west driveway to get out to 58, rather than try to get at that intersection.
So is there a way to get to West Main Street out of here, or you can't? We're sending all the traffic to 58.
From this site, you would have to go north. If you wanted to get out, you'd have to kind of loop through Tanger and come back around. It's not convenient for someone exiting the site, but
But you know what, I'll tell you my concern is forcing everybody to go to 58, that's already so clogged up. You've got Tanger 1 emptying out to there, Tanger 2 emptying out to there, whether it's, a high volume time or not. Is there a reason that you can't make a left out of one of these exits here?
Well, you can make a left out of the northernmost one. There's gonna be a curb cut where you can go right across and go out south to 25.
No, but I'm talking about, where is that? I don't see that, Tim.
The northern entrance to this new,
Wait, this is
That's the northern entrance.
but I want to go out to 20, to
Yeah.
25.
so come out, make your left. There's a curb cut where you're gonna go across one lane and go into the other lane, and you go right out to
Go
25.
across and go left.
Okay, I'm going to go there then. Thank you.
No, it is a little confusing to read, no doubt
Yeah.
about it.
Okay.
Yeah, because he doesn't really show turning arrows in there at all.
yeah, the arrows on the plans just show in, out, no direction.
Yeah, this is, and I think we're working on some code for Tanger to help them. When I've spoke to Tanger Corporate, and all their locations throughout the country, the towns that they're in have worked with Tanger in order to help them occupy vacant spaces. And apparently, we're a little bit onerous, so we're looking at that, trying to figure out what to do to help them out.
Any further comment or thought from the board on this?
So just walking way pathways, whatever, if I visited this one and I want to go to Tanger 1 or Tanger 2, so what's the sidewalk scenario and so forth?
So there are, on page 4 of the staff report, identified, took an aerial image from near maps to show the location of all the crosswalks. So there are crosswalks that would connect Tanger 1 to Tanger 2. There would be a sidewalk, there is a sidewalk proposed on the northern portion of this Dries Specchio site. So if someone, saying, going from Tanger 1, they'd come from the west, they'd go along the sidewalks, go along the crosswalks, and they could get to a sidewalk and enter the Dries Specchio site.
There is a sidewalk there currently.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, and then it would kind of wrap around here, and it would connect to the existing
Right.
crosswalks. So there would be pedestrian access to the site.
How tall is this building?
I believe there is the height of the main building is about 26 feet roughly, and there is a clock tower element proposed, and the height of that is 35 feet.
Similar to Tanger.
Yeah. So if the board's all right with it, schedule a public hearing on this. The special permit application has been floating around for a while. So if the board is all right with it, we can get a resolution to schedule a public hearing.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, ditto.
Comfortable moving forward?
Where's the dumpsters and stuff like that? How is that getting accessed?
I believe the dumpsters are shown in the back. There's like a little cutout in the back of the building. It's not explicitly called out, but I believe there is a location.
Where
for
it
a
says
dumpster.
loading area?
Yeah.
That little
Right in there.
that little square X, I believe that is the dumpster.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Greg. So that's the end of our discussion items for today. We have no items scheduled for executive session, so this concludes our work session. So we'll ask for a first and a second to close the work session.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. Thank you, everyone.